Tourists, most likely. I can hear them speaking English. My English isn't great, so I doubt they'll be much help, but I wonder what they're talking about. Hello there. Is there something we can help you with? Don't speak English. Wait, Japanese. Your Japanese is perfect. Since I'm a college professor, I'd probably be out of a job if it wasn't. I'm no college professor, but I work for a Japanese software company, so I'd be a bit of trouble too. Don't look at me, I just live here. Well, not in Tokyo, in the suburbs. Whoa, I think you guys might speak Japanese better than I do. I mean, sorry, I never would have thought. Would you prefer to speak in English instead? No, please, Japanese is fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to be nosy. I guess I don't see people wearing yukata this late in the year. Is there a festival or something? No, we come to Asakusa every year, and the yukata become part of the tradition after a while, because it makes us stand out more than we already do, huh? Don't knock tradition, Tony. Admittedly, my legs are a little cold, though. You guys come here every year? You must know the area pretty well by now. I'm looking for a kendo dojo where Takashi Kawana works. It should be in this area. Kawana? Why does that name seem so familiar? Oh, right. He's the kendo instructor of the dojo right behind us. People say he's kind of a prodigy. I wouldn't be surprised if he became master in time. Supposedly he's very particular with who he trains. I guess he doesn't want to waste his time with people who aren't serious. Makes sense when you think about it. With how good he is, he must get a ton of wannabe kendo masters coming to him. Seems like he trains a lot of police too. In the time we've been here, standing here, we've seen a few go in and out. All that, and I think he's still in his 20s. For someone so young, he must be under a lot of pressure. No kidding. I've heard talk of it. Interdepartmental kendo tournament. It's become a matter of pride for different regional departments. I wish my work had martial arts competitions between departments. Nothing would work out the unspoken tension between me and my boss quite like a good smack to the jawline. Police fighting each other, huh? That must be pretty brutal. I mean, I guess police in Japan don't really have to use force all that much, though. Yeah. Anyway, how do you know so much about the dojo? I mean, I live in Shinagawa, and I don't know anything specific about it. You see, it says it all right here on the dojo's flyer. He was out here about 10 minutes before you came, handing them out. Kinda seemed a little prickly, though, so I didn't talk to him. I admit I would have been much cooler if we'd known all that off the top of our heads. But we're glad we were able to help you regardless. Makes me feel a little silly now, trying to learn more about him from a flyer. Considering he trained so many police, I'm surprised I never heard of him until now. Are you associated with the police somehow? No, of course not. I'm an investigator. See, like a private detective. Listen, if anyone comes by asking about a female detective, just, sorry, I don't speak Japanese, right? Exactly. I appreciate it. Anyway, I should get going. Sorry to bother you. Thanks for the information, guys. Our pleasure. Good luck at the Jojo. Let us know if you learn any kendo tricks. The men in the department always puffed out their chests when they talked about the kendo competitions like it was going to impress me or something. Never paid much attention to it. Still, it's strange that someone related, however faintly, to the mask has yet another story, another tie to my old life. Takashi Kawana sounds like an interesting guy, but very serious and not keen on strangers. At least I don't have to use any English. That would have been a disaster. Mai, what are you doing here? Did she make you come? It's not like that, Takashi. It was my idea. I asked her to go talk to you, but you sent her away. This woman almost got you killed. Do you expect me to cooperate with her? Surely if you need to talk to me, you could come yourself. No. If I came alone, you'd just evade all my questions like you always do. Besides, there's something I need you to see. See? What are you talking about? Where did you get that? Put it away. So you do know what it is. I knew you were hiding something from me. That's not true. I wasn't hiding it. It's not something you ever need to know about. Besides, why is she carrying it in the first place? Wait, don't change the subject. This isn't about Ito. Mai, I understand that you're upset with me, but we should talk about this another time. Furthermore, that mask has nothing to do with you. You're wrong. Back in April, when Mai was held at knife point by another girl, it was this mask she was looking for, a mask your family isn't connected to. Looking for it? I suppose I've been a fool to think I'd keep the truth of our family past from you. The past? Does this have to do with Mom and Dad? Yes, and so much more. I first saw that mask when I was a child before you were born. The truth is, it belonged to a cult called the Kamenkai, of which our parents were members. A cult? You're kidding. How'd your parents get mixed up in that? I know how it sounds. I find it hard to believe myself. It was a group led by a guru named Tokimasa, who promised a simple life away from the hypocrisy and falseness of city life. Our parents both had master's degrees, and my mother was on her way to earn her PhD. They chose to give up their lives and careers to follow this mystic and live at a compound. The Common Kai was one of many such groups back then. I was a child and didn't understand, but when I think about how our parents were deceived and what they put me and Mai through, it's unforgivable. The mask was at the compound, but why they had it, or what they were believed it could do, I don't know. Do you think there are any members of the Common Kai left? Who'd know? No. You see, there are no surviving members. They died, all of them, including our parents. I'm sorry, I don't remember much about it. One night, Grandma came into the room where we were sleeping, saying we had to go. The compound was in the woods, so it was dark and I could barely see, but she kept charging forward with Mai in her arms and me trailing behind. Once we were back in Tokyo, several days later, Grandma told me our parents were dead. She didn't seem sad. It was as if she expected it. The government censored much of what happened, so I was never able to learn how they died. Me and Grandma didn't speak about it, ignoring it as if my childhood and everything that happened in those woods was all a bad dream. If it wasn't for her, we'd probably be dead with our parents, but ignoring what happened couldn't erase the anger I felt towards them. I wonder if they ever even cared about what might happen to us. As a high schooler, I spent more time trying to find out about the Common Kai than I did studying. I thought that if I could understand why my parents willingly gave up their lives and abandoned us, I could stop feeling so betrayed. But I was wrong. Nothing I found gave me any peace. Mom and Dad died while part of some cult. I don't believe it. It's true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I guess that in hiding it from you, I was able to hide away my feelings as well. I think for Grandma it was too painful to talk about. I believe she took possession of the shrine in order to live a simpler life. We had to keep it a secret. There's no way we could live normal lives with a stigma of the Common Kai attached to us. I suppose keeping the secret hurt us both dearly. Dearly? For me, pursuing Kendo gave me some measure of control over my life. With Grandma, who made a choice to leave her only daughter behind, she always seemed to carry the guilt of it with her. She started going out at night, vowing about how she was looking for Mom. When she'd come home, she would have a rotten stink on her clothes. I was too scared to confront her, so I tipped off the police. They found her wandering in the sewers holding nothing but the mask, the same one from the cult compound all those years before and the one you hold now. I was shocked when they gave it to me. I hadn't seen it for so long, and all the unpleasant memories from my past came flooding back. That was when I decided to leave Kamakura. It was the only way I could move on with my life. That doesn't account for how the mask ended up with your grandmother in the first place. I don't know how she got it. It seemingly appeared out of thin air, or maybe someone gave it to her. She never said. I left the mask with her. It always made me uneasy. It had a strange aura about it. Wait, Grandma was looking for Mom in the sewers? I don't remember any of this. You were in the dorms at school at the time. Grandma's strange behavior was part of why I insisted on you going to those private schools away from Kamakura. I couldn't drag you into the madness of our past. We parted ways without ever speaking of it, and she was much better by the time you returned to Kamakura. Detective, what exactly is it that you're looking for? Surely our family's history isn't of use to you. I assume you've heard about what happened to my partner. This mask was there again when he died. It's more than an ornament. I need to know where it came from. If that's true, then I want to help. Your partner, he seemed like a nice person. No, Mai. You've helped plenty, but I have to do this on my own. Ito is right. I apologize for not telling you all this sooner, but you can't get involved in something so dangerous. I already thought I lost you that day at the shrine. I wouldn't forgive myself if something happened to you now. All right. Thank you for finally telling me the truth, Takashi. I'll head back now. I hope you remember that I'm your sister. I may not remember the same things you do, but you're still family. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for your help, Mai. You're right, Mai. I'll come visit you soon. It looks like she's gone. Mai's not here, so there's no need to be coy. No doubt possessing that mask has taken its toll on you. Even in the brief time I was in contact with it, I felt immense darkness behind it. I had such strange dreams and saw things I never would have imagined on my own. There was always an unusual air about it that I couldn't stand to be around. Maybe lying to Mai again makes me a hypocrite. All I know is I don't want her getting hurt. But like you said, I don't believe that mask is simply wood and paint, though I doubt anyone else would believe us. No one ever did, except for one man. On this street there's an old tea shop, perhaps you saw it on your way in. An old historian named Yasuhisa is there occasionally. He was the only one who ever acknowledged what I said about the mask is true. I like how his kendo stick is kind of like in the way of the text. Weird. Well, welcome back, Star. If you're looking for information on the mask, he might be the best person to ask. I never pursued the topic with him, but I speak with him occasionally about other topics. His mind is a vault of valuable information. Hopefully he can shed some light on what it really is. I hope so, but please, Detective, be careful. Yes. You know, if I talk to groups of people, they vanish afterwards, and I'm starting to think she's insane. Buy more. Miss, I can see a glimmering... Actually, I shouldn't do this. Because my neurosis will go down. Me? Well, why wouldn't I? It was amazing. Yep. The struggle is real. You think I don't sit here in the presence of my own creation and not want a little taste? No, of course I do. They're delicious, but the extra time and effort means I don't have as many on hand and have to limit myself to one order per customer. But I'm your only customer. Come on, just one more taste. Sorry, no can do. There's this reason I set up the quiet shop like this. Otherwise, I'd sell out in minutes. Well, let me know if you change your mind. Okay. Well, that's good. My neurosis won't go down. Welcome, come in. Do sit down. No need to be so formal and stand there like a statue. How can I help you? Are you Yasuhisa? Takashi told me to come speak with you. Oh, and how is Mr. Kawana? Still as prickly as ever, I suppose? I've always found him to be wise beyond his years, though perhaps not by choice. I digress. My apologies. It's the quirks that come with old age, you know. What does Mr. Kawana think I can help with? I'm looking into a few things related to the Common Kai, the group his family got mixed up in. Ah, more difficult question than you might expect. You see, there are two groups that share that name. The first, as you know, is the religious group formed by the guru Tokimasa. The second is an ancient order over 1,000 years ago. What's that you're holding? I was told it's related to the Common Kai, the newer one, and that you could tell me about it. Ah, that explains many things, child. That far-off look in your eyes, for one. I imagine you have many, many questions. Masks are interesting, are they not? They're meant to be disguised, and yet a mask cannot lie or contort itself to hide the truth. You think. In that sense, it is the mask that is more faithful or truthful than the human faces we hide beneath them. I wonder how you can come to be in possession of an object with such a dark history. I think it might be related to a missing person, but I don't know anything about it beyond that. Ah, but itself is the essence of history, layers upon layers of personal connections that are continuously peeled back to their root. Relics like that one you hold often take unusual routes to where they end up. Relic. If it's from the Common Kai cult from the 90s, then I'd hardly call it a relic. Misguided and misceptive though he was, Tokimasa was no fool. In order to gain new followers, he needed to give his cult historical legitimacy. He collected obscure objects and gave them new meaning that he could control in order to manipulate his followers. The mask was what he chose, along with the name of the group that created it. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I guess so, only I guess I was hoping you could tell me some other things about it. For instance? Like, why... Now that I'm about to say it out loud, it sounds silly. I'm sorry I bothered you. Don't be silly. You wonder, for example, why holding the mask seems to take you to another place. Or perhaps why you see visions that don't seem real. Why you feel the strong will exerting itself on you. Oh yes, I know all about those things too. How could you know about that? When Tokimasa was in possession of it, he believed it showed him a path to the realm of the gods. He wrote extensively on the subject. Though unlike most, I don't discount such phenomena as raving of a madman with the phenomena repeats itself. Do you too look into the sky, into the inky blackness and see... Oh, God. Do you too look into the inky blackness and see familiar shapes in the shadows? Not shadows. I see and hear people who are supposed to be dead. I find things I couldn't possibly have found otherwise. Most interesting. Tell me, detective. Oh, apologies. Do you mind if I call you that? I don't remember telling you I was a detective. Ah, my mistake. You must forgive me. A slip of the tongue. I believe it was the way you carried yourself. Determined investigators such as yourself have such a sense of purpose in their mannerisms, you see. And you do seem rather determined to get to the bottom of whatever it is you're chasing. Tell me, does me telling you that your experiences are not an illusion provide you with any level of comfort? I'm not sure, but I do feel something, maybe hope. It's like I finally got a foothold on solid ground. Ah, yes. Knowledge in the light of a dark place, is it not? To think a relic of such importance would end up with a detective. Do you mind if I ask you something? Which do you believe? Are our lives controlled by fate? Pre-measured threads that determine our deeds and our wishes and our ends from the minute we are I can't read this. Or conversely, is our thread subject to the chaos inherited in the universe instead? Does it change according to our deeds, and that which happens to us seemingly by accident? Do you believe in fate or chance that decides which thread of life are cut short or which is followed? Yes, of course. Maybe you feel your life has been somewhat out of your control as of late. Control, huh? To be honest, I don't feel like I've had much of that at all since the mask came to me. You said that the mask made by the old common Kai. Why? Confusing me can't be the purpose it was made for. Ah, yes. A more complicated answer than you might have wished for. Indeed, it should come as no surprise that the creation of such a mysterious object is equally enigmatic. Perhaps you could do me a favor. Don't worry, it is in relation to this very topic. An important book has gone missing from my shop. If you could retrieve it for me, I feel it could shed a great deal of light on the subject. What kind of book? A book of missing variety. Haha, I'm sorry, I jest. It concerns the mask bearer. Mask bearer? That's me, right? Although you carry it, that does not make you its bearer. All will become clear when the book is returned to me. Sounds easy enough. Where can I start looking? Oh, you needn't go far. The man who has it is right outside this building. In fact, as I said, it's not much of an errand, but I, of course, cannot leave my shop. He's right outside? This won't take long. I'll be back. Sippy, 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 sippy. Do you have the book, sir? The old tea shop next door. Isn't that the place closed down? Closed? That can't be right. What else do you know about it? Pure conjecture on this one, but I think it might be owned by the kendo instructor from the dojo down the street, on account of him being the only one I ever see in there. You might not believe me, but I swear I saw him in there chatting away to himself. He might be a little nuts. Then again, it might be some super awesome kendo meditation technique. Ah, man, why didn't I think of that before? Next time I ought to ask him for pointers instead of spying on him, eh? Word through the grapevine is that he's a regional champion or something and has trained some of the best. Lots of cops train him with him too, so he must be good. Maybe he's not so crazy after all. Speaking of which, I have a bit of a crazy question for you. I know you said it was closed, but do you know anything about a book taken from there, maybe recently? I was led to believe you might. Oh geez. Go on. Like I said, the place has been in for years, but I spent a lot of time outside it, and half the time the door's wide open. So one day, a few months back, I decided to take a look around. Nothing suspicious or nothing. It was just curious is all. Curiosity killed the cat, right? Anyway, it was all dusty and old, and there was all sorts of weird stuff lying around. So I might have taken a little souvenir. I mean, it wasn't super old or nothing, so I figured no one would miss it. Besides, it wasn't for me. It was for my kid brother. The guy can get deep in the dumps sometimes, so I try to be on standby for when that happens, So I figured a little gift would cheer him up. And back then, he was going through some particularly tough times. His bitch wife, pardon my language, miss, had left him and taken their kid daughter with her. He still doesn't talk about it, like he's in denial or something. Whoops, got off track, and I was heading to visit him with the ill-gotten book when I get this phone call saying he was in the hospital. He OD'd on an expensive sake and sleeping pills. Thank God that idiot decided to do it at the bar he owns with the door unlocked. A customer came in and called an ambulance. If it weren't for that, I'm not sure if he'd still be there. That's quite a story. Sounds to me like he wanted to be found. Yeah, I think so too. I think he was trying to ask for help in his own way. In any case, I took the book to him while he was in the hospital. Wanted to show him that even when he was at his lowest, there was something out there trying to do something nice for him, I think it helped for a minute anyhow. As soon as the doctor let him leave, he went right back to that toxic little bar. I hope he's okay. He's got issues, but he's my little brother and I worry about him. He hasn't been answering my phone calls lately. Originally, my brother's bitch ex-wife, sorry again, had the brilliant idea to put his skills to work in a cheap part of town. Oh, I know who we're talking about. Despite that, he's holding on to it with everything he's got. That place is slowly bankrupting him, but he won't let it go. All he has to do is sign some papers and move on, but he can't. Something about it has its claws deep into him. I've been trying to get him to join me in my business for years. He's a great chef, and we can make a killing. Maybe it's not the same as owning a whole bar, but serving passerbys and getting some sunshine is good for the soul. Plus, food stands are doing well abroad here. Much better than wasting away in Shinjuku at any rate. Shinjuku. Yeah, in a slimy little side street. Anyway, if that book is important to you, he's probably still got it at his place. You want the address? Wait, I knew you looked familiar. Your brother's Daiso, right? You know him? Small world. Was probably the smile on my face that threw you off. Tell him his brother Haruto says hi. While you're at it, tell him Tell him takoyaki stands are still the future of cuisine and to get his butt over here. Haha. I'll do that. Thanks for all your help. All the characters are coming full circle. Hi, Yami. How can I help you today? Hey, Daizo, how are things? Oh, same old, same old. A funny thing, I met your brother while I was in Asakusa today. Haruto? You met Haruto? What are the chances? Who knows? It was pretty random. Huh. Who'd have thought? So is he still selling takoyaki at the stand? Did he say anything? He is. He said to remind you that takoyaki stands are the future of cuisine and that you should go and help him. Yeah, you talked to Haruto all right. Always the optimist, that guy. I actually have a favor to ask you. Do you still have the book your brother gave you a few months ago? The only thing that guy gives me is a headaches. Not sure if I can help you, Ayami. He said he gave it to you when you were at the hospital. Oh, what makes you think I was in the hospital? I don't even go to the hospital for checks up. Besides, that dolt bringing me stuff all the time, always trying to drag me kicking and screaming over to where the grass is greener. This would have been more recently. After a rough patch. Maybe it was stupid to come and ask. Oh, no, it's fine. That idiot always running his mouth. Friggin' traitor. Those were just some hard times, nothing serious. I just drank too much is all. I'm sorry today, but I don't want to talk about it. Alright, understood. I'm not here to dig up bad memories, Daizo. Thanks. You said you were looking for a book, right? Truth is, I don't remember a book. I do remember Haruto giving me an old magazine, though, back in the hospital. It was one of the ones I used to read when I was younger, when things weren't quite so complicated. Wait here a second. I might have it in the storeroom still. Dang it, sorry, Abby. Hold on a sec. Amazing how much junk someone accumulates over the years. Maybe I should throw out some of this old stuff, huh? Here it is. It's yours, detective. Huh, hey, no wonder I recognize that photo you brought by. It's the same girl, an idol named Ruby. Reina. No, Ruby, see? It says so right there on the cover. Pretty crazy that it's still in my shop. Guess that means you're still looking for her. I wonder why we keep running into each other. Weird luck, I guess. I don't buy it. You're a hell of a detective. You must have a pretty sharp nose. If you say so, Daizo. Do you mind if I take this? Like I said, it's yours. About time I started getting rid of some of my old junk. Thank you. See you around, Ayami. Take care, Daizo. Ah, welcome back, detective. Is that the book I see in your hands? Guess I'm a little surprised. Are you trying to tell me Reina is the mask bearer you talked about? That's hard to believe. Does it surprise you? After all, it is she whom you see in the dark, is it not? The dark. That's what the collector called it too. How'd Reina get mixed up in all this? I only know that somehow the girls... Oops. People always see history as something in the... Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Distant past involving old men and black and white pictures. But that book and the girl as much a part of history as the rest. The threads that connect the past to the present and people to each other are not always apparent. But peel back the layers of connections and randomness of our universe neatly orders itself. A teen idol, an ancient order, the tool they created, and the detective who holds it now, all form a neat and tidy line. Reina was some sort of idol living in Tokyo, not part of a sleeper cell in some cult. It doesn't add up. On that, detective, we can agree. So why don't we start at the beginning? With how the mask ceased to be a mere object. The story starts in ancient times in the year 1333. God, this is going to kill me. At that time, Kamakura was the capital of the Japan, led by the Hojo clan. It was a time of peace, prosperity, and enlightenment. Peace among men is cyclical? Cyclical? And like so many before them and so many after, their time of peace came to an end. The Nita clan, loyal to the Emperor Go-Daigo, led a siege against the Hojo-controlled Kamakura, taking the city as the tide receded and left key passage open to the invaders. The Hojo clan fled to the caves of their family temple. For them, there was no hope of victory or escape. They chose to retain their honor. Instead of surrendering, the 870 Hojo samurai, including the last three regents, committed mass suicide. However, the Hojo and Nita clans, embroiled in their quest for the Empire, could not see the roles they played in the plans of another group, the religious sect known as Kamen Kai. It is said that in the flames of Kamakura, a girl was seen wandering the streets, observing carnage of the burning city. A girl lost to the histories, who went by the name of Chikako Shichijo. Shichijo. The last survivor of the Kamen Kai. Okay, so whatever the Kamen Kai were trying to do, they failed. I mean, they all died, right? No, they did not fail. Everything went exactly as planned. Chikako Shichijo did not survive by chance. She was chosen. Chosen for what? To receive the blessing of all the spiritual energy that so much death afforded, to become the first mask bearer. Mask bearer. The Kamen Kai used the deaths of all those people to create this. Why? Legend has it that the Kamen Kai sought to contain the door, a rift leading to the spiritual realm, where our consciousness ceases to be and time holds no meaning, a place where cause and effect could be changed. It's always a quiet room. We're used to a quiet room. Why spend so much time left and give up so much to do that? To stop it from being abused. Imagine, I read that in the wrong voice. The world of God, so the flow of time and rules which govern would world something. This is consequence. This is the power of the door. To a mortal mind obsessed with the finality of death and meaningless accomplishment, such power would corrupt absolutely, a power over death. So a dark place was created to obscure the door and hide it from the mortal eye, along with a tool to control and see within the darkness. It's true, isn't it? All of it. It sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true. Finding the door could be the key to bringing Tanaka back. Some doors, no matter how strongly they call to us, they are not meant to be opened, and the Kamen Kai willingly gave their lives to keep that way. The mask opens the minds of all those who come into contact with it, but it is intended for its bearer. Using it to find the door may destroy you. Maybe you're right, but I could at least use it to find my way in the dark. Just like the collector said, the only thing I don't get is how Reina is connected to it. That is a mystery. As Mr. Kawana told you, the last known location of the mask was the Kamen Kai, called only a few decades ago. Much was suppressed about the Kamen Kai under Tokumasa. They existed, and then on March 4th, 1996, they met their end. There are many theories that the police killed them during their raid on the compound, or that someone within the cult snapped and murdered the others. Nothing but conjecture, I'm afraid. The real answer lies somewhere deep within police records. And though I remain curious, it is not something I have access to. Perhaps the best place to start is there. Finding out about the last days of the Kamen Kai may help light a path to the truth, though I wonder if such an objective bred from suffering can truly put an end to it. Is it you who can finally break this terrible cycle? Ah, I've spent a long time here. I'm tired, so tired. Farewell, detective. All right. That was too much reading. Too much reading. My throat hurts. Sitting there comfortably, the historian Yasuhisa casually laid out everything I've experienced. Wow, everything I've experiencing like he was reading it out in a book. A mass suicide, ancient groups, and a door to a spiritual realm. It sounds like a myth, an interesting story told to travelers in a bygone era. It's hard to believe it relates to Kazuki and Reina. I can't understand it, the bridge between the Kamakura samurai and a young girl. He said Reina fit into the story. She's a mask bearer, but how? Yasuhisa, the collector. I thought when I met them I'd entered their world and could start to understand, however faintly, what was going on, but my intuition as a detective tells me they're hiding something from me still. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I need to keep going. What day is it anyway? How long have I been chasing these leads? Day turns to night, the hours bleed into each other. Even the seasons don't seem to follow the natural order anymore. Everything's blurred together. My head. Maybe I should take my medication. Impossible though it seems, following the old man's hunch is my best bet to finally understand the mask. Even Takashi didn't know what happened to the Kamen Kai. Finding the police report is a way forward. A few weeks ago, it would have been easy for me to ask around and pull a file. It'll be a bit more difficult now, I imagine. What's the worst that could happen? I should head to HQ and see what I can find. should go take your medication is what you should go do, but you're going to make me go there, aren't you?